We IPO'd in January this year, yes, at a valuation of the mid-20 million market cap, 40 cents, and we hit a low of 12 cents in the summer. As I think we all know, it's been a pretty brutal market, but we're quite fortunate to be in a position where we raised $10.5 million in our go public financing, and we're sitting on about $7 million cash today. So we're focused on district scale exploration in northwestern Mexico, and we put together 4 properties on the 2 major gold trends in northwestern Mexico. And you can see from the map on the right side here, this is in America. This is the major American gold trends on the west coast. About 350 million ounces of gold have come from here, about 5% of the gold ever mined. And then down here, this is the American-Mexican border. These are the developing trends in Mexico, and a lot of geologists believe that this is all one system. And the southern part has only really been started to be explored since the signing of NAFTA in 1995. So about 50 million ounces have been discovered today on these 2 developing trends. We've put together 4 properties, about 57,000 hectares, and we're purely focused on 1 property for now, La Gloria, which is a 24,000 hectare property on the Mojave Sonora Megashire, which is the trend on the left side. This is now zooming into the Mojave Sonora Megashire. It's home to the biggest gold mine in Mexico, La Herradura, owned and operated by Fresnillo. Almost 16 million ounces of gold have now been discovered by Fresnillo at the property. They mine in the region of 400,000 to 500,000 ounces a year, the biggest gold mine in Mexico. There's also 2 other Fresnillo operating mines on the trend. Alamos Gold just mined out the El Chinale mine, and Ross Beattie's Mesquite mine is operating across the border in the US, also on the trend. This is now zooming into our La Gloria property, 24,000 hectares, true district scale exploration. Has been picked over by a few explorers, but never been looked at in the kind of detail that we're looking at it now with the team and the capital that we have at our disposal. You can see we're really focusing on the structural controls. In this part of the world, structural controls are key, and we want a good understanding of the structural controls of this property. And you can see we've got a lot of mapping going on. You can see the major folding. So if you remember back on the last slide, the regional trend is northwest. So northwest, and you can see on this slide, we're finding regional faults running northwest, a major regional faults. To give some context, these regional faults, the El Chinale fault is about 30 kilometers on our property. So this is a big scale. You can see at the bottom left corner of the scale, the 10-kilometer scale. We're focused in the red rectangular box for now. That we're looking at area of about 6 kilometers in length. This is just some mag work that we've had done, helping us with the initial targeting. And what we're finding is that the mags are also lining up on the regional trend northwest. And we're finding with the initial work we're doing that we're finding better mineralization related to the lows and the medium intensity areas. So that's the blue areas we were focused on at first. And you can see there's quite a few blue areas on this map. Now, as Chen said, we just put out some drill results this week, and delighted to be getting 59 meters of 1.45 grams gold virtually from surface, starting at 1.2 meters. And in this part of the world, it's all oxidized material. It's in the Sonoran Desert. So what we're looking for, our initial strategy is to build up mineralization close to surface, and then probably a multiple pit scenario where we can then have a heap leach operation. So delighted to be getting such good intervals from surface in the initial drilling. And that intercept is in an area we'll get into in more detail called Republicana, and we're going to do a lot more work in that part of the property. As we're on a silver panel, we also got a very high-grade silver intercept. As you can see, 5.5 meters of almost a kilo of silver, again, virtually from surface. So again, looking for close to surface material, which is easy to mine and easy to process in this part of the world. This is an overview of the area we're working. We've drilled 5 targets along this trend of 6.3 kilometers. The main zone, as we call it, is in the most southern part down here. There's 3 targets in the main zone: Big Pit, Pique Viejo, and Placeres. And then you can see we get up more into a mountainous terrain. This is where we're finding volcanic host rock. And La Republicana is up here in the volcanic host rock, which we're finding is a very good host rock on the property. This is now an overview of La Republicana, and we've put 2 drill holes into it today. One testing structures on the regional trend northwest, which was drill hole 30. And this is the one where we got the 59-meter intercept. We hit four parallel veins, all in the region of about 3 meters of width, grading of about 4 to 6 grams. So good width and good high-grade gold mineralization. Within that, we're getting high-grade shoots of up to 21.5 grams of gold. Those veins also contain silver, and the veins at a lower depth also contain lead and zinc. We also put one other drill hole into this area to date, drill hole 27. That was drilled to test structures on a northeast trend. We're finding structures in multiple trends in this part of the property. We hit 12 mineralized structures with 96 meters from surface, but lower grade, and the best intercept there was 23 meters of 0.26. Now, just to give some context, in this part of the world, a lot of the mines operate on a 0.1 cutoff. Our Chinati right next to us was an average grade of 0.5. Had a 0.1 cutoff. All the Fresnillo mines also operate on a similar cutoff. So this is economic material in the Sonoran Desert with heap leaching. We've done 270 samples on this La Republicana target to date. We're doing a lot of extensive mapping and sampling at surface. We've got sample results up to 103 grams of gold, 283 grams of silver, and 1.3% copper. And across those 270 samples, the average grade gold is 1.43 grams per ton. So a lot of positive samples at surface, and definitely an area that we're honing in on. We have a structural geologist at site right now, a famous structural geologist from Sonora, doing a comprehensive structural geology report, and then we'll do more extensive drilling in this part of property, probably starting from the end of September. This is a cross-section of the two drill holes into La Republicana. You can see the veining in the red. Drill hole 30 is on the left side, the 59 meters of 1.45 grams. And you can see a lot of mineralization close to surface, exactly what we're looking for. And we should be able to hit these structures again and potentially get greater widths at greater depth as we see them dipping downtrend. Moving on to a different part of the property, this is the Big Pit area. This is 6.3 kilometers south of that La Republicana target. This is an area where we're finding brecciated mineralization. We had a known breccia purely gold hosting, and what we found with this last bit of drilling is that we've also got a second breccia here, which is hosting silver, copper, lead, and zinc mineralization. So multiple breccias in a relatively small part of the property. We expect to find multiple breccias on the property. And again, brecciated zones are great for bulk mineralization close to surface. So delighted to hit a second one. And really super high grade. I mean, to be getting 935 grams of silver virtually at surface, and also containing almost 1% copper, 0.93% copper as well in the interval. So this is a developing part of the property. Definitely more drilling will be done as well following up here. And the team also has identified a very similar target west of this, which we believe could be a continuation of this, which we're preparing for drilling as well in the coming months. This is the key personnel involved. We have a number of famous geologists that we can call on and giving great technical advice. Dr. Peter McGall, I think most people are familiar with. It was really Peter's idea, actually. Reyna Gold, he's a big advocate of this part of the world. And as everybody knows, Peter's very associated with silver, but knows the potential for gold exploration in northwestern Mexico. We've also just got a gentleman join, Dr. Tony Longo. He was Ariel's boss actually at Newmont, did a lot of work in Mexico for Newmont and in Nevada, and is a great expert in Carlin-style deposits, and great to get his guidance and wisdom on the team. Douglas Kerwin, I think most people are familiar with as well. Then we also have Peter Jones, the founder of Hudbay, as a director, and Steve Letwin, former CEO of IAMGOLD, as an advisor. This is our capital structure. We have 66 million shares on issue. Our share price has gone up a little bit since this slide was done, but I think our market cap is about 10.6 million with about 7 million cash. So we have an EV of $2 to $3 million. So a good entry point for people new to the story. We have a number of institutional shareholders on a lot of the major funds focused on exploration, Terra Capital out of Australia, EMA out of the US, Commodity Capital and Commodity Discovery Fund, to name a few. Insiders own about 21% of the stock. So finally, just wrapping up, ongoing drilling at La Gloria. 10,000 meters was approved by the board. We've done 4,600 meters to date. So extensive drilling still going on. We've got so many targets on the property. I think we'll drill a lot more than 10,000 meters. We're doing extensive mapping and sampling on a property like this, and particularly when looking for mineralization close to surface. We're doing a lot of field observation a lot of mapping, sampling, finding good targets for extensive drilling. And then the structural geology reports going on right now to give us a better understanding on that front. Just to summarize before we wrap up, so high-grade mineralization has been found by gold and silver, which is great. We also know it's a polymetallic. We have copper, we have lead, zinc as well. And we know that we have an orogenic system. We also know we have intrusive rate of mineralization. So great that we have that kind of structure where we've got overprinting of veining, unveining, helping add to density, helping add to the grade, helping add to the ounces, etc. So very happy with the initial work that's been done. We're happy with the host rocks we're finding. We're finding very favorable host rocks. We're finding the same structures that we see in other mines on the trend. And really delighted to have the cash in the company to advance the property more over the coming months. So thanks for your time, and happy to take any questions next door after we all get a drink.